Okay, Hare Krishna. Welcome back to our Bhagavad Gita study. On chapter 2, we are reading the section Art of Steadiness, Sthita-Prajña. Arjuna asks Krishna a question in 2.54. What are the symptoms of a self-realized person? What are the qualities of a Sthita-Prajña person? And Krishna started explaining in a few shlokas, starting from 2.54 onwards. So last week, what did we discuss? 2.58, what did we discuss? Sense control, right?
Yeah.
Indriyan indriyartebhyah tasya prajna pratishtita. So Krishna gives an example of tortoise. We're using an analogy of a tortoise. Krishna explains how to withdraw the senses. One of the questions that Arjuna asked was, how does a Sthita Prajña person sit? By sitting means, Arjuna means to ask, how does a Sthita Prajña person withdraw the senses? In other words, how does a Sthita Prajña person control the senses? Okay. Arjuna also asks a question, how does he walk? How does he walk and how does he sit? How does he walk means, how does he engage his senses? So we learnt during that time, a Sthita Prajña person engages his senses in bhakti, in devotional service. His hands, legs, eyes, nose, everything he uses, ears, he uses all the limbs of his body in serving the Lord. Okay? Samsiddhir haritoshanam. So this life is meant for pleasing the Lord. So this body was given by Lord. All the senses, the mano, buddhi, ahankar, everything is given by the Lord. So we have to engage all these things in the service of the Lord. So, so that is how a Sthita Prajña person engages the senses. And when he is not engaging his senses, how does he withdraw? Just like how a tortoise withdraws its bodily limbs when there is a danger from external sources. Just like that, a Sthita Prajña person withdraws his senses whenever he sees any danger from external environment. If there is some, if he happens to go to a wrong place, okay, for something, if he happens to go to a wrong place, then he closes his eyes, he closes his ears, he closes his nose, all those things. We have seen those three monkeys, right? With eyes closing, ears closing, mouth closing. What does that mean? Withdrawing the senses. Do not see bad, do not hear bad, do not speak bad, all these things. Do not smell bad, everything. Okay. So there's a beautiful shloka in Mukundamala Stotra in this context. Let me open that shloka. We can recite that. So this is the shloka. Madraksham kshina punyang kshanamapi bhavato bhaktihinam padabje ma shrausham shravya bandham tava charitam apasyanyadakhyan jatam ma smarsham madhavatvam api bhuvanapate chetasa pahnuvanan Ma bhuvam tvatsaparya vyatikararahito janma janmantarepi. So this is the same shloka. Do not see evil, do not speak evil, do not hear evil, all these things. So let's read the translation. He's praying. The author of Mukundamala Stotra, Kulashekara Alvar, who is a very saintly person, he's praying to Lord Mukunda that Okay. Shamala, are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Can you read this translation? 24.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. O Madhava, please do not let me even glance at those who pious credits are so depleted that they have no devotion for your lotus feet. Please do not let me be distracted from listening to the worthy narration of your pastimes and become interested in other topics. Please, O Lord of the universe, let me pay no attention to those who avoid thinking of you, and let me never be unable to serve you in some menial way, birth after birth.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So this is a beautiful shloka from Mukundamala Stotra. It's a prayer to the Lord that please do not engage me in seeing uh, those people who are not practicing bhakti. And the definition of evil in Kulshekar Alvar's opinion is different. In our opinion, when you see those three monkeys closing their eyes, closing their ears and mouth, they don't want to see evil, they don't want to hear evil thing, they don't want to speak evil, right? So, but in their opinion, the definition of evil is something else. It's different. But according to Kulshekar Alvar, it's at a much higher level. It's a transcendental thing. So he's saying that, oh Lord Mukunda, please don't make me see those people who are not practicing bhakti. Ma draksham kshina punyan kshanamapi bhavato bhakti hinan padabje. Bhakti hinan, those who are not practicing bhakti, those who are devoid of bhakti. uh, Please don't let me see those people. Uh, in other words, what does he want? He wants association of devotees. Okay, so this is an indirect way of praying to the Lord. Ma shrausham shravya bandham tavacharitam apasyanyadakhyana jatam. Let me not hear any other topics other than your katha. Ma shrausham shravya bandham tavacharitam apasyanyadakhyana jatam. Ma smarsham madhavatvam api bhuvanapate chetasa pahnuvanan. Uh, Let me not think. Smarsham means smarana, remembering, or meditating, thinking, contemplating. Let me not contemplate or think about any other topics other than you. Ma bhuvam tvatsaparya vyatikara rahito janma janmantarepi. Let me uh, let me let me be engaged in menial service to you lifetime after lifetime, janma janmantarepi. Ma bhuvam tvatsaparya gatikara rahito janma janmantarepi. So this is how a saintly person. Now here is a proof. In 2.58, Krishna explained to Arjuna how a saintly person withdraws his senses. Withdrawing his senses means that not completely shutting them off. You take some cotton, and then put it in your ears. That is not the thing Arjuna asking, and that is not what Krishna is explaining. Withdrawing senses means withdrawing senses from unwanted things. Whenever there is a danger from external sources, you shut your senses, you withdraw your senses. Just like how a tortoise. We discussed that last week, 2.58. Yada samharate chayam kurmongani vasarvashah indriyartebhyah tasya prajna pratisthate. Kurma. Just like how a kurma, tortoise, or maybe in this country they pronounce it as tortoise, right? Tortoise. Just like how a tortoise withdraws the senses. So a saintly person also withdraws the senses like that. And we discussed last week that in the olden days we used to have uh, a tortoise made of rock outside the temple. So first you take darshan of the tortoise and then you enter the temple. That means it's a reminder for us that we have to control our senses. We have to keep our senses in control before we enter into the temple hall, so that we can engage our senses. Once we enter into the temple, sanctum sanctorium, then we can engage our senses We can engage our eyes in seeing the Lord. We can engage our ears in hearing katha or kirtan. We can engage our nose in smelling different, paraphernalia that are offered to the Lord, like the incense sticks, the tulasi offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. So like that, we can engage all our senses in the service of the Lord. So it's a reminder. When you see that tortoise outside the temple, before you enter into the temple, it's a reminder for us that we have to be alert, we have to be attentive, and we have to control our senses. Okay? So here is a proof. Kulshekhar Alvar, who is a saintly person, about 1000 years ago, this is the prayer he prayed, that let me not see evil things, let me not hear any other topics other than your katha. Like that. With that, we will discuss today's shloka 2.59. So within the topic of art of steadiness, this is a subtopic called higher taste. Higher taste. Okay? Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, shloka number 59. विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते. Vishaya, objects for sense enjoyment, vinivartate, are practiced to be refrained from. Niraharasya, by negative restrictions. Dehinaha, for the embodied. Rasavarjam, giving up the taste. Rasaha, sense of enjoyment. Api, although there is. Asya, his. Param, for superior things. Drishtva, by experiencing. Nivartate, he ceases from. Okay. You want to read the translation and purport? Yeah.
Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste of sense objects remain. But ceasing these engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
Yeah.
Unless one is transcendently situated, it is not possible to cease from the sense enjoyment. The source of
So the online people, can you hear it? Okay. Yeah.
The process of restrictions from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a deceased person from certain types of eatables. The patient, however, neither likes such restrictions nor loses his taste of these eatables. Similarly, sense restriction by some spiritual process like Astang Yoga is the matter of Yam, Niryam,
Asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana.
etc. It is recommended for less intelligent persons who have no better knowledge, but one who has tasted the beauty of Supreme Lord Krishna in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste of dead material things. Therefore, restrictions are there for the less intelligent neophytes in the spiritual advancement of life. But such restrictions are only good until one actually has a taste of Krishna consciousness. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste of vain things.
Yeah. So Krishna is talking about higher taste here. Because in the previous shloka, Krishna talked about sense control. So now it's a big challenge for us, right? Because we are very active, our senses from childhood. We have been learning that we have to be active, we have to be playful, we have to engage our senses, we have to earn more money, we have to go to IIT. The IIT training starts from LKG only. And you have to become a IT professional, you have to earn a lot of money, you have to go to America. This is the training, this is the kind of training we have been receiving since childhood. Now all of a sudden, if Krishna is asking us, control your senses, Oh, wait a minute, what we have been told since childhood is wrong, is something else, and you are asking something else now. So how do we do this? So, so for that, Krishna is giving a formula. When we, so what Krishna is telling is not an artificial shut off of the senses. It's not a artificial restraint or restriction of the senses, but a positive engagement for the senses. A positive engagement for the senses. Just like children, they want to do something. Uh, let's say they want to watch Cartoon Network for 3 hours. They want to watch Cartoon Network, or they want to spend time on the screen. Now, if you simply say, "Hey, you cannot watch TV like this for 3 hours," if you restrain or put restriction like that, they may not listen. But on the other hand, if you provide a positive engagement for them, like let's go out for a walk, or let's go to the kitchen and cook something, or there are some clothes to be folded. Let's fold the clothes. So something like that, some positive engagement, because they want to be active. Children, they want to spend their energy in doing something. So if you provide them some meaningful, positive engagement, then they will be inspired. And if you provide some reward, small reward at the end of that work, they'll be inspired to do that. So similarly, here Krishna is giving a positive engagement which is of higher taste. The sense enjoyment that we get from the sense objects is of lower taste. It's of lower taste. In Bhagavatam, it is explained when we are engaging in sense enjoyment, it is like charvita charvanam. That means chewing the chewed. Chewing the chewed. Did you understand? Chewing the chewed. I'll give an example. In India,
sugarcane juice. In India,
sugarcane juice example. Yes, correct. When you go to India, if you want to have sugarcane juice, you go to that that street sugarcane juice wala. So he'll put sugarcane inside, and then some juice is extracted, and he will not throw those sugarcanes. He'll put them into the machine again, like that 3-4 times. Even after almost everything is squeezed out, he'll keep on putting the sugarcane inside until he thinks that not a drop of sugarcane juice is coming out. So that kind of gives you an example what is churvita churvanam. That means we are enjoying what is already being enjoyed or what is already enjoyed by someone else. Churvita churvanam. Okay, which is of lower class. Prabhupada writes in the purport, no longer has a taste for dead. Okay, not even lower class, even less than that actually, dead. Sense enjoyment is being considered, is being treated as it's a dead matter. That's why it doesn't give us satisfaction. It gives us some temporary happiness, but it doesn't give us satisfaction. So when we experience higher taste, then we will not be interested in lower things like this. So Krishna is talking about that higher taste. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha. Niraharasya dehinaha. Niraharasya means niraharasya dehinaha. Dehinaha means for that body, whose body? Niraharasya. Those people who are trying to control their senses. Those nirahara. Ahara means eating food or food. Nirahara means restraining food, without food. So those people who are controlling their senses, for them, param drishtva nivartate. So if they have higher taste, then it is possible to control the senses. So what is this param drishtva nivartate? What is this higher taste? There's a real story that happened when Ramanujacharya was there about 1000 years ago. In Srirangam temple, there used to be a procession of the Ranganath Swami Utsava Murti deities, Ranganath Swami, Goda Devi, and other deities. They used to carry the Utsava Murtis on a palanquin in a procession within the temple premises. Okay. Then there was this person called Dhanurdas. Dhanurdas, he was not a devotee, but he would come to the temple for prasadam or whatever reason. He would just come to the temple, and when the procession was going on, he also used to join the procession. He used to go around, but instead of looking at the Utsava Murtis, the deities, this Dhanurdas, he used to look at one lady who was also walking in the procession. And Ramanujacharya noticed this, and he asks him, if you come with me and if I show you something more beautiful than that lady, do you want to come with me? Then this person said, Dhanurdas said, no, there cannot be anything more beautiful than this lady, he said. And then Ramanuja said, why don't you give it a try? Just come with me, I'll show you more beautiful than this. And then he takes Dhanurdas inside the sanctum sanctorium, the Garbhagudi of Srirangam temple, and he shows the beauty of Ranganath Swami. And then looking at that beauty, this is the first time he's seeing Ranganath Swami from so close. Or rather, he never had darshan actually. His job was just to come in the temple and just have some fun, maybe have prasadam. He has a different agenda. But this is the first time he had darshan of Swami, and he was astonished to see the beauty of Ranganath Swami. And then he became a devotee, and then Ramanujacharya personally performed the marriage of Dhanurdas and that lady who he was looking at. Her name is Hemangi. And then together they both continued serving Ranganath Swami for the rest of their life. So a modified version of this is shown in Annamaya movie. So it is coming from a real life story during Ramanujacharya time. Yeah. So higher taste. Once you have higher taste in bhakti, once you have higher taste in higher experience in transcendental things, you will naturally lose taste in lower things. So the formula is engaging all our senses in experiencing this higher taste. That is the only thing that gives satisfaction to us. Because that is our eternal position. Eternally, that's what we were doing. Somehow we are here and we are doing something else now. And this is not giving satisfaction. We are looking for happiness in a wrong place and we are struggling. Every day we are hankering for happiness, but somehow we are not getting it. And the moment we practice bhakti and we engage all our senses in devotional service, then we will get satisfaction. Once we are satisfied within, then you will not hanker for any of these sense objects. So the famous, the live proof for this is providing a positive engagement means whatever activities one is interested in, one can convert the same activity in serving the Lord. For example, somebody is an expert in cooking. Instead of working in a restaurant or instead of working in a place where there is meat being served or meat being cooked or all kind of nonsensical thing happening, the same work of cooking can be done in the temple or in a place where temple related activities, preaching activities, devotional activities are happening. So that person can perform the same activity of cooking to serve the Lord. If somebody is expert in music, they can convert that activity in serving the Lord. They can sing for the Lord instead of singing some songs for a movie. They can sing songs for the Lord. And this happened about 50-60 years ago when Prabhupada was traveling in the Western countries. You might have heard of this person, George Harrison, right? Have you heard? George Harrison. George Harrison, about 50-60 years ago, he was god of music. He was very famous, not only in European countries, but across the world, he was very famous, especially European countries and these Western countries, America and these countries. He was very famous. His albums were so captivating that people considered him like God, not only in the music world, but he was the biggest celebrity of that time. Because those days, all these other celebrities were not there, right? Like Tom Cruise or whoever, they were not there. So he was the biggest celebrity of that time, the most celebrated celebrity. So then somehow he met with Prabhupada. See, being such a celebrated celebrity and having so much success, he was not satisfied. He did not have satisfaction in life. He had so much money, name, fame, wealth, everything, but no satisfaction. So somehow he met with Prabhupada in London. And then Prabhupada asked him, what do you do? He said, I make music albums. Then Prabhupada casually said, why don't you make an album for Krishna? Why don't you make an album with Hare Krishna Mahamantra? And he did that. He did that. He did that album, and that single album, it influenced so many Western people to practice bhakti. So this is how we can dovetail. There is something called as dovetailing. We can dovetail our activities in serving the Lord. This is nothing but positive engagement. Instead of controlling our senses, instead of shutting our senses, whatever activity, whatever you are good at, use that same activity in serving the Lord. So, when Prabhupada was in America, in New York, there were all hippies. They were into all kinds of habits. And most of the hippies, what is their entertainment? Music and dancing, right? Music, dancing, eating. So these are the main entertainment, right? Drinking. So the same activities, Prabhupada, he made them convert into devotional activities. Eating, instead of eating nonsensical stuff, eat prasadam. And Prabhupada personally cooked food for them and he used to feed. So all these hippies, they were unwanted progeny. Most of them were unwanted progeny. They were abandoned or unwanted progeny. Okay. I heard somebody, some Western person in Atlanta. Now he's a practicing devotee. He's a brahmachari actually. So he was speaking in one of the videos, and he was telling that I was an unwanted progeny. I was born over a glass of liquor, and I was unwanted progeny. But Prabhupada came, and then he showed compassion, he showed love and affection on us. He used to personally cook and feed us. So this is how they got transformed. It is not the philosophy that Prabhupada was teaching. Prabhupada was speaking in Bengali accent, English but Bengali accent. Instead of yajna, Prabhupada used to say jagya. Even we can't understand that. What will Western people will understand that? So it was not the philosophy by hearing which they got transformed. It is the love and care that Prabhupada provided that transformed them. And Prabhupada, the same activity, if they are interested in eating, yes, eat prasadam. Instead of eating nonsensical things, eat prasadam. If you are interested in singing, sing kirtans. If you are interested in dancing, dance to the kirtans. That's why the Hare Krishna dances are very popular in all the temples. If you go to any ISKCON temple, sometimes you should come to our ISKCON Samamish temple. You will actually see what is Krishna consciousness movement is. So people will be jumping up and down. Yeah. So this is nothing but engaging or providing a positive engagement and getting higher taste to our senses. This is how we can control the senses. Okay, next 2.60. And what's another proof for that shloka? 2.59. What is another proof? I gave so many examples now. I gave the example of Dhanur Das from Ramanujacharya time, 1000 years ago. I gave example of George Harrison about 50-60 years ago. I gave an example of so many hippies in New York. Now what's another proof? Okay, that many people do not know. Tell something that everybody knows.
You are also the proof, Prabhuji.
Huh?
You are also the proof.
Yes, very good. Yes. Is that Shamala or Ankita?
Shamala.
Shamala, right? Yes. Yeah, very good. We are the proof. All of us, we are the live proof, live examples. We used to do something else. Sunday evening, we used to do something else. But now, we are sitting and hearing a Bhagavad Gita class. So this is the higher taste. Bhagavad Gita is the higher taste. And by doing this gradually, consistently, every week since last, 2 years or so. 2 years? Is it 2 years? Almost 2 years. And we are still in second chapter. Good going. So we have given up taste in lower things, right? Automatically, without us knowing, without our consciousness, we lost interest in lower things. So this is what happens. Param drishtva nivartate. Just remember that one line. Param drishtva nivartate. Drishtva means seeing, experiencing. Param means higher. After experiencing higher taste, one will lose interest in lower things. That's why if you come to ISKCON temple, there is a vegetarian book called Higher Taste. Have you seen that? Higher Taste. It has nice, delicious, recipes for different vegetarian dishes. So they'll teach you how to cook without meat, without onion, without garlic. It's a very nice book. How to make different types of cakes, all those things. Next. 2.60. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, shloka number 60. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramadhini haranti prasabam manaha. Yatata, while endeavoring, he certainly, it's not I, okay, it is he. He certainly, api, in spite of, Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Purushasya, of a man, Vipaschitaha, Purushasya, of a man and of a woman also. Vipaschitaha, full of discriminating knowledge. Indriyani, the senses. Pramadhini, agitating. Haranti, throw. Prasabham, by force. Manaha, the mind. Okay. Sriram, you want to read?
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcefully carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. There are many learned sages, philosophers, transcendentalists who try to conquer their senses, but in spite of their endeavors, even the greatest of them sometimes fall victim to material sense enjoyment due to the agitated mind. Even Vishwamitra, a great sage and a perfect yogi, was misled by Menaka into sex enjoyment, although the yogi was endeavoring for sense control with severe types of penance and yoga practice. And of course, there are so many similar instances in the history of the world. Therefore, it is very difficult to control the mind and senses without being fully Krishna conscious. Without engaging the mind in Krishna, one cannot see such material engagements. A practical example is given by Sri Yamunacharya, a great saint and devotee, who says,
Yeah, you can skip the shloka.
since my mind has been engaged in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and I have been enjoying an ever new transcendental humor, whenever I think of a sexual life with a woman, my face at once turns from it, and I spit at the thought. Krishna consciousness is such a transcendentally nice thing that automatically material enjoyment becomes distasteful. It is as if a hungry man had satisfied his hunger by a sufficient quantity of nutritious eatables. Maharaja Ambarisha also conquered a great yogi, Durvasa Muni, simply because his mind was engaged in Krishna consciousness. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo
Vachamsi
Vachamsi
Vaikunta
Vaikunta
Gunanu Varnane.
Gunana.
Yeah. So here, by the way, you have a metallic voice. So you should learn music
Oh, thank you.
and sing for the Lord. Become another George Harrison. Yeah. If you learn music, you will be happy. Okay, forget about bhakti or Bhagavad Gita, all these things. If you want to become happy, just learn music and sing for the Lord. Have you ever seen any person who is good at music, whether it is instrument or vocal? Any person, you might have seen many people in your circle, right? Any person who is good at music, instrument or vocal, they're not happy.
I have never seen them bored.
Yeah, they're not bored because their schedule keeps them busy. Every day they have to practice. Otherwise, they will lose the rhythm, and then you know they cannot sing properly. So every day they have to train their voice. They have to practice. It keeps them busy, and it enthuses them. It enthuses them because it's not an easy art that anybody can learn. You have to put a lot of hard work, and there has to be some purva janma sukruti also. So when you are learning these newer nuances in music, and as you are practicing and you are able to do this, you feel a sense of accomplishment, and it gives you happiness. And the same music, if you are singing for the Lord, oh, it gives you abundant joy. So that's the simplest technique. Okay, if you think Bhagavad Gita, this philosophy, this all these things is very, it's too much for me to do. The simplest thing that you can do is learn music, and you can inspire your children also. If you are learning, make your children also part of that journey. So together you can be happy. So what is Krishna telling here? After explaining about the higher taste, Krishna is saying senses are so strong and impetuous. What's the meaning of the word impetuous? Impetuous. Acting are done quickly without thought or care. Okay. Yeah. Like impulsive, right? So you speak something impulsively, you act on something impulsively. You don't intend to do uh, without knowing, without proper consciousness. You do something that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. So that means even a person who is trying to control senses, uh, even a person who knows what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad. A man of discrimination means a man who can discriminate between good and bad, right and wrong. That means a person who has studied scriptures. In simple words, a person who has studied scriptures, who has understood what is right and wrong, what is to be done, what is not to be done, even such a person, even for such a person, it is very difficult to control senses. And out of the five senses, even if one of the senses is carried away, then it is dangerous. Hmm? Krishna tells that in next shloka. Senses are so strong, impetuous, O Arjuna, that I think next shloka, even one of the senses, Durena Hyavaram. Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah. So even a man who is trying to control the senses, even the man who knows what is to be done, what is not to be done, it is very difficult because the senses are so strong. Out of all the senses, especially the mind is very strong. This we discussed many times in the class. Mind is chanchala, pramadha, balavat, dridam. These are the four characteristics of the mind. Chanchalam, pramadha, balavat, and dridam. Chanchalam, it's wandering, wavering, restless. Uh, Mind can be here in 1 second, and the next second, mind can be in India. And the next second, mind can be in Europe. Next second, mind can be somewhere else. So it is Chanchalam. And Pramathi, it is dangerous. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, Pramathi balavadrudam, tasyaham nigriham manye, vayor iva sudushkaram. Arjuna tells to Krishna that I can control the raging wind, but not the mind. Because mind is restless, it is dangerous, it is strong, and it is stubborn, obstinate and stubborn. So, because the mind is so strong and the senses are also so strong, it is difficult. But if we provide positive engagement, then it is easy. And in the purport, it is explained how different yogis, they try to control senses through the process of yoga and meditation. But we have seen many examples of failing. Many examples of yogis failing in that process. Vishwamitra, Shaubari Muni. Shaubari Muni, he thought, if if I am living on the land, if I am seeing everyone doing different activities, uh, then I may be disturbed. I may be attracted to different activities. I may be attracted to different kinds of sense enjoyment. Thinking that Shaubari Muni, he went underwater. With his yogic power, he learned how to stay underwater for a long time. So he went underwater and started meditating there for hundreds of years. And then one day, he saw two fishes mating. And then looking at that, he got disturbed. So artificially controlling the senses through these yogic processes, Ashtanga Yoga, yoga, pranayama, pratyahara, that's very difficult. The only thing is positive engagement. Engage all your senses in the service of the Lord. Okay. When it comes to sense control, the Shastras give an example of Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj is an example who has perfected in controlling all his senses. We have 5 external senses and 5 internal senses, or 5 working senses and 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Okay, Jnanendriya, Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya. So Ambarish Maharaj is an example who have perfected in controlling all the 10 senses. So now when we hear about great examples like this, we get some inspiration. I mean, until we hear this knowledge, right, we don't even think about controlling senses. We just engage in the sense gratification. And there are some spiritual organizations who say that the best way to control senses, or the best way to lose interest in sense objects, is engage as much as you can until you are frustrated, so that eventually you will give up. Osho. Osho, have you, I mean, everybody knows. I don't even need to ask a question. Have you heard of it, right? Everybody knows about him. And we all know what happened to Osho in the end. He was arrested and he died. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikunta gunanu varnane. How did Ambarish Maharaj control all of his senses? Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikunta gunanu varnane. He fixed all his senses at the lotus feet of Krishna in glorifying his qualities, hearing his qualities, speaking his qualities, engaging different senses in different services of the Lord. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikunta gunanu varnane. So the same topic, what Krishna said in the previous shloka, is being repeated in a different perspective here. Okay, so next shloka. .61. But before we go there, any question, comment, reflection, anybody wants to say anything? Anything? Whether you like it, don't like it, you can say anything. You don't have to restrain. You don't have to restrict. Yes.
Like we have gatherings, celebrations, birthday parties.
Yeah.
One of the important thing that we enjoy is, good food, good company.
Yeah.
So enjoying good food. It's very difficult to. Does that mean getting corrupted again? Because it's happening for a greater good.
Yeah.
To stop doing that, won't it let us make a little less social, collectivist,
Yeah.
enjoy community?
Yeah. That's a practical, question, right? So she's asking something which is something that we encounter in our day-to-day life. Practically, everybody encounters that problem, right? So nirahara, especially niraharasya dehinaha, restraining from food, restraining our senses. One of the things is restraining from food, especially restraining from eating food from different sources. When you attend a party, they get food that is prepared by different people, right? Restaurant, we don't know how it is prepared. Definitely, it has some impact on our consciousness. But at the same time, if we abruptly stop it, it affects other things, right? It affects the friendship with other friends, and the friendship for our children with their children, is affected. So overall, our social life is disrupted. That's why we should not abruptly stop those things. Okay, we can continue doing that, but you minimize. Instead of going to 2 parties on Saturday, 2 parties on Sunday, like 4 parties in one weekend, minimize it. Minimize it to 2, and minimize it to 1. And by that time, in the due course of time, in 1 or 2 years or 5 years, you will make good friends in this association itself. Huh? Like if Srinivas and Swati, they are hosting a birthday party of their children, go and attend. They will make nice food with a good consciousness in it. Or go and attend this boy's birthday party. He will sing Hare Krishna until you say stop, stop, stop. Can you sing Hare Krishna? Louder.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yeah. See, when you go to birthday parties, they will sing something else there. That's also music. This is also music. So slowly you will start liking this music. You may not like it now, but slowly you will start liking this more. Slowly you will start liking this food. Slowly you will start liking these parties. So, but until you like, that's what Prabhupada wrote in the purport of previous shloka. Let me go back there.
One thing, Prabhu, along with that, keep practicing your things very strongly. Sometimes that outside people also get your association maybe. They are getting into this system slowly also. I have experienced that thing in those outside friends.
Yeah.
Some of them are getting into ISKCON or similar things slowly by seeing maybe me and other friends.
Yeah.
So that is also happening. But yeah, like unnecessary thing we should minimize. But first thing is we should our practice, like coming to temple, getting association without failing. So that is also our own.
So now in this context, while I'm trying to find this line from the purport, so in this context, so I want to ask a question to all of you. Now we have these two things, right? The social life and this bhakti life. We know that this is the best thing. Bhakti is the best thing. But we cannot give up the social life completely. And you don't have to. Okay, you don't have to give up the social life completely. But what motivates us? What's the biggest motivator for us to practice, to involve more in bhakti sadhana than the social life? What motivates us? What's the biggest motivator for us? What's the biggest motivator that inspires us to do bhakti?
The higher level of enjoyment that we will get through bhakti.
Okay, yeah, let's say we know the higher taste, we have experienced a little bit of higher taste, we know the value of bhakti, we know that this is going to give us satisfaction, but still, just like how you asked, in the back of our mind there is that social life. Oh, I'm missing those parties. So what's the biggest motivator for us?
Krishna himself, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Krishna definitely, he will inspire us, but before that,
Feeling of belongingness. So we feel that
feeling of belongingness. Okay, so I'm talking about a person here.
In disciplined life, and even the kids can follow the path of discipline.
Yes, big round of applause for him. Yeah, our children are the biggest motivators for us. See, all of us, including me actually, all of us, whoever is doing bhakti now, right? Why we are doing bhakti? for children. Whether I want to do bhakti or not, that's a secondary thing. We thought about that much later. But before us, first we thought about our children. My child should learn some shlokas. Whether I know some shlokas or not, my child should recite some shlokas. Right? Whether I can sing Hare Krishna or not, my child should sing Hare Krishna. So this was our thought process. So thinking that, we sacrificed some of our social life. We are engaging our kids in bhakti, and in that journey we have also become a part of it. So kids are the biggest motivators. Where is this line here? Here. Look, but such restrictions are only good until one actually has a taste for Krishna consciousness. So until you get this higher taste, until you are convinced that you can be happy here, you can be more happier here than in the social life, until you reach that stage, you keep continuing that. Everybody. I was in the same boat. So, but you keep minimizing. You keep minimizing. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Then we'll move to the next shloka. 2.61 तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता तानि those senses sarvani all samyamya keeping under control yukta engaged asita should be situated matparaha in relation with me vashe in full subjugation he certainly yasya one whose indriyani senses tasya his prajna consciousness pratishtita fixed. So before this, I wanted to touch upon one thing. Natasha, you spoke about the social life, right? Parties. So there we eat food that is prepared by someone we don't know, and that person's consciousness, the consciousness of the cook, it's transferred into the food, and when we eat that, we get that consciousness. Not long ago, but very recently, like about 10 years ago or so, 10, 15 years ago, there was a very saintly person in Vrindavan. One day, there was a big festival in Vrindavan. And this saintly person, he participated in that and he ate food that was served there. And then, soon after, he was getting some bad thoughts. He's a sannyasi, a saintly person, and he was getting some bad thoughts. And then he called the organizers of the festival and he inquired, what kind of food is being served, who prepared the food, and all those things. Then he said, the organizer said, it was all prepared by the devotees only. So when it is prepared by the devotees, there is no question of wrong consciousness coming into the food. Then he asked the question, who sponsored the money for making this food? And there are thousands of devotees, right? It's a big festival. Thousands of devotees. Somebody has to sponsor. When there's a festival, we'll only go out reaching out to sponsors. And then organizers, they did not have a clear answer. They did not know actually, who was that. Then they researched and and found that it was actually sponsored by a prostitute. So then this saintly person, he said, okay, now it makes sense why I was getting some bad thoughts. See, now forget about a cook cooking the food and throw him the consciousness entering into the food. Even a person sponsoring money for that food, that consciousness is entering through that. Now we don't want consciousness, wrong consciousness, contaminated consciousness to enter our consciousness, and definitely not for our children. If not for us, okay, forget about us. Definitely, we don't want that consciousness to enter into our children's consciousness. So for that, we should try to avoid as much as possible. And there was another incident that happened about 50, 60 years ago during Prabhupada's time actually, that in the temple, one devotee, he was cooking, and while cooking, he was a new devotee. Okay, he just began the journey. While cooking, he was singing some movie song. Okay, and then this sannyasi, he was eating. The saintly person, he was eating that food. And to everyone's surprise, this sannyasi, he started singing the song which the cook was singing while cooking the food. Now imagine, level of the consciousness of this sannyasi and how the consciousness of the cook enters through the food. Okay, he sang the song actually. He sang the song that was sung by the cook. And then he asked, he went to that cook and asked, okay, so why are you singing this song while cooking? And he was shocked. He was shocked to hear that question from him. And then from there, that day onwards, he became a serious devotee, a sincere devotee. So at home also, while cooking, you can keep some kirtan, singing in your phone or something, some bhajan, some kirtan, Annamacharya kirtans, Purandar Dasu, or Tukarams, Abhangs, whatever you like, whatever you are inspired. So keep playing something while cooking, or throughout the day you keep playing something. Some transcendental vibration should be spread throughout the day, all the day. Okay, Vishnu Sahasranama or some stotrams, whatever you like. Okay, so the last shloka for today. He's ready. He's ready. He's waiting when the class will end and when I can sing Hare Krishna. Okay, who will read? You want to read this?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Nikhil.
Nikhil. Yeah, please read.
One who restrains.
1 second. It's already shared. Yeah, go ahead.
One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. That the highest conception of yoga perfection is Krishna's consciousness is clearly explained in this verse. And unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control the senses. As cited above, the great sage Durvasa Muni picked a quarrel with Maharaja Ambarisha, and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and therefore could not check his senses. On the other hand, the king, although not a powerful yogi as the sage, but a devotee of the Lord, silently tolerated all the sage's injustice and thereby emerged victorious. The king was able to control his senses because of the following qualification as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita
Bhagavatam. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikunta gunanu varnane karau harer mandira marjanadishu shrutim chakrachuta sat katodaye mukunda lingalaya darshane drushau tadbhritya gatra sparshenga sangamam Granam cha tatpada saroja saurabhe Shrimattulasya rasanam tadarpite Padau harer kshetra padhanu sarpane Shiro hrishikesha padhabi vandane Kamam. Yeah, now you can read Sanskrit, right?
Kamam cha dasi natu kama kamaya yatottama shloka janashraya riti.
Yeah, so I forgot. Yeah, you're great Sanskrit. Yeah, go ahead.
King Ambarisha fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the fasting of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of Lord, his body in touching the body of devotee, his nostrils in smelling the flavor of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaves offered to him, his legs in traveling to the holy place where his temple is situated, his head is offering an obeisance unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. And all these qualifications made him fit to become a Matpara devotee of the Lord. The word Matpara is most significantly in this connection. Most significant in this connection. How one can become Matpara is described in the life of Maharaja Ambarisha. Sri
Baladeva Vidyabhushana.
A great scholar and acharya in the line of Matpara, remarks Madbhakti Prabhave Vivena Sarvendriya Vijaya Purvika Swatma Drishya Su Labiti Bhava. The senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of devotional service to Krishna. Also, the example of fire is sometimes given. A blazing fire burns everything within a room. Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of the yogi, burns upon all kinds of impurities. The Yoga Sutra also prescribes meditation on Vishnu and not meditation on the void. The so-called yogis who meditate on something other than the Vishnu form simply waste their time in a vain search after some
Phantasmagoria.
phantasmagoria. We have to be Krishna conscious, devoted to the personality of Godhead. This is the aim of the real yoga.
Real yoga. Yeah. So, one who restrains senses, keeping them under full control and fixes his consciousness upon me is known as a man of steady intelligence. So, by this shloka, Krishna is concluding the topic of Sthita-Prajña. Whatever Arjuna has asked in 2.53, what are the qualities of a saintly person? So Krishna has explained various qualities, sense control, satisfaction, steady mind. What are the other things? What are the other things that we learned in the previous shlokas? Whatever we learned. Whatever we learned, Krishna spoke those. Okay. And now he's concluding, saying that if a man learns to control his senses and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. Prabhupada gives an example of Ambarish Maharaj, who was a king, a devotee king, saintly king, Rajarshi, and he gives an example of Durvasa Muni also. Ambarish Maharaj is a devotee, Bhakta, who practiced Bhakti Yoga. Durvasa Muni is a rishi who practiced Ashtanga Yoga. Now, what was the difference in their behavior? When Ambarish Maharaj, one day he was meditating on the Lord. It was Ekadashi day. He was meditating on the Lord. And Durvasa Muni comes to that place. Ekadashi was over and it was Dwadashi. And they have to do Dwadashi Parana. Before Dwadashi Muhurta leaves, they have to eat some grains. So Ambarish Maharaj, he noticed that the Dwadashi Muhurta was going and he wanted to eat some grains. But there was Durvasa Muni who came. Durvasa Muni thought that how dare this king, without paying attention to me, without feeding me, he eats a morsel of grains. Thinking that Durvasa Muni curses him. Out of anger, he curses Ambarish Maharaj. And Ambarish Maharaj, he does not retaliate because he's a devotee. He has mastered the art of sense control. He does not get angry. Durvasa Muni was showing anger, but King Ambarish, he did not show any anger. He controlled his senses. He remained silent. He simply meditated on the Lord and he prayed to the Lord. And Lord Vishnu, he released a Sudarshan Chakra. In fact, Durvasa Muni, he invokes a demon. He invokes a demon to kill King Ambarish Maharaj. Then seeing the demon, Ambarish Maharaj, he meditates on the Lord and prays to the Lord. Then Lord Vishnu releases a Sudarshan Chakra. He kills the demon first. And with the same Sudarshan Chakra, he chases Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni starts running. running as fast as he can away from the Sudarshan Chakra. He goes to Brahma, he goes to Indra, Varuna, Vayu, and he goes to Shiva. Nobody could help him. And then finally, he thought only Lord Vishnu can help me. And he prays to Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu, then he says, okay, I forgive you. And then he withdraws the Sudarshan Chakra. Then Ambarish Maharaj, Durvasa Muni asks Lord Vishnu a question. What I have done to Ambarish Maharaj was a very small thing. I invoked a demon not with an intention to kill him, but just to threaten him. Because he did not pay attention to me. He did not offer me food before offering me, he ate. So I just wanted to just threaten him. For such a simple offense, you release Sudarshan Chakra towards me? Why? Durvasa Muni asks Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu says, this is the kind of love I show to my devotees. Especially devotees like Ambarish Maharaj, who has perfected his senses in serving the Lord. So this is how I reciprocate to my devotees. I come in the control of my devotees. Lord Vishnu says that. So this is how we can develop saintly qualities. Not to get angry, not to get agitated in our life when there is a trouble, not to engage in too much sense gratification, thinking that will give us happiness. But we should take inspiration from these saintly people, all the qualities that Krishna has described in the last 4 or 5 shlokas. We should try to cultivate those habits and become a saintly person. You don't have to become a sannyasi, don't worry. Okay? You don't have to give up anything. You don't have to wear saffron clothes. You can do whatever you are doing, but still you can be saintly. In the olden days, all the kings, they were saintly kings. Raja Rishis. Raja plus Rishi. They were kings who had higher responsibilities than all of us, who had the toughest and busiest schedule than all of us. If you are thinking time is a problem for you, the kings, they had so many responsibilities. Their schedule was out of control. But still, they were saintly. So, wherever there is a will, there is a way. Okay, so I think from next shloka onwards, another interesting topic starts. This is called the 8-step process of falling down. Now in 2.61, Krishna has explained what happens if one controls their senses? If one controls their senses and fixes their consciousness on Krishna, they will become dear to Krishna and they will go to Krishna Loka after the death. So in the next section, Krishna explains what happens if one does not control the senses, how they will degrade, how their life will be destroyed. This is called 8-step process of falling down. How a person falls down from higher consciousness to lower consciousness. That we'll see from next week. Before that, any questions, comments, reflections? What are you doing? Amazon. Okay. You did your master's or? Okay, just undergrad. Huh?
I mean, I did a correspondence in India only.
Okay.
Not here.
Okay. Anyone else? Anything? All good? All became saintly? Good. So now is the time for music. Yes, can you sing? Sing Hare Krishna.
But I'm waiting for when it will finish.
Yeah, I just finished. See how nicely he's saying. I'm waiting when we will finish. Yes, now you sing.
Okay, class is finished.
Class is finished. Okay, come sit here.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Good, very good. Good. Very good. Every week he is inspiring us to become steady in the path of bhakti. This is art of steadiness, not whatever we discussed in the shlokas, but this is art of steadiness. Becoming steady and fixed in this consciousness. Yeah. Okay. Kantara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you everyone. We'll see you all next week. Hare Krishna.